What's up, everybody? Welcome to the newest edition of UnderReview. This is our NBA Finals special. I'm Chase.
I'm Bayvon.
And this is our moderator for today, Cassidy. Say hi to all the people.
Hi to all the people out there.
All right, so she's going to get us started off today, so we're not just bantering back and forth out of control like normal, so maybe this will be a little more structured and make sense.
Not rambling on.
So she's going to kick us off. What do you got for us today?
Well, we are going to start out by talking about the Eastern Conference Finals. So, Chase, if you'd like to give us your review on that.
It's painful. It's been a rough 7 games. It was 3 of the best days of my life and 4 of the worst. But my Boston Celtics came up 8 points short of the NBA Finals. We weren't even supposed to make the Eastern Conference Finals. We were supposed to get beat in the first round because Giannis was the best player on the floor, so we should have lost. We were supposed to lose in the second round because they had Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. We won in 5. And then we're supposed to get swept by the Cavs, and we took them 7 without Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward, among others. We were missing Shane Larkin, It was tough. It was very painful. LeBron's going to his 8th consecutive finals because he's one of the greatest to ever play. At least it was him that beat us, and it wasn't Toronto or, Indiana or, somebody like that. So it's more respectable, I guess. Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum showed that they're going to be future superstars, potentially, at least all-stars at the minimum. They showed out, balled out. My boy Terry Rozier, he didn't do great in Game 7, but in Game 6 he scored 28 points. I mean, dude balled out for a backup point guard, and I couldn't be more proud of our squad. We'll be back next year. Boston Celtics 2019 champions. Write it down. I'm still proud. I'm still repping, if you can't tell. I'll always be repping my Celtics, baby. So I'm not disappointed. LeBron James is a superhuman. So what do you think? What were your thoughts on it, Faison?
Well, from what I've seen, the performance that LeBron James been doing this whole postseason has been one of a kind. Like, for the fact that
Definitely.
He has played every single game this season, whether it's in the regular season or in the playoffs, he's now at 100-plus games, which is unbelievable. And then for him to be it seems like he had his all-time powers. And for him to be 33 years old, been in the league 15 years, been involved with the Olympics, all the endorsements that he does off the court, looking out for all the student athletes in high schools, and the students in general, and being able to go on to the college level, and then his influence in the music industry and really across pop culture and movies. Where have you seen LeBron in? So for him to have had the impact that he has, and then be able to be at an all-time level within the playoffs and lead Cleveland, which is badly diminished without Kyrie Irving.
Oh, for sure.
They're not the same team at all. And for them to perform, at least LeBron, to be able to carry that team from a team that really don't even deserve to be in the playoffs to now going to the NBA Finals, is amazing. And I'll give it to him. I might be a LeBron critic, but I do acknowledge the fact that he is one of the greatest players of all time. He deserves all the credit in the world for carrying a team that is subpar at best. The role players such as Kevin Love, Kyle Korver, J.R. Smith, they pale in comparison to the other teams in the playoffs, like Houston. If Houston would have got up against Cleveland, they would have demolished them. So anybody who came out the West was going to take care of Cleveland if it wasn't, for LeBron. So got to give it up to the King. He been taking over, scoring over 30 points a game, getting triple doubles like every other game, and single-handedly dominate the series. And then, of course, the one moment I loved was Jason Tatum dunking on LeBron in Game 7. That was awesome. I loved it. And then he taunted LeBron afterwards, which you never see. Don't ever see LeBron get taunted.
That was the final nail in the coffin. He did that, and LeBron said, all right, let's win this.
Yeah, and then he ended up blocking Rozier. Rozier was trying to go for a dunk and then got annihilated at the goal, and then stared him down and burned a hole with him.
Terry Rozier. I know how much it hurts you to give LeBron that credit there, too. I could feel it.
But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be a person who's not gonna ignore how great he is. I mean, he's gonna go down as a second greatest player of all time. We all know who's number one.
Terry Rozier.
Not need to be said. Not him. But at that time, hey, Cleveland on to the finals.
There we go.
Well, if you guys would like to talk about the Western Conference Finals, if you'd like to get started on that.
Well, in the West, that was one of the craziest series I've ever seen.
Definitely.
It was ebbs and flows. I mean, Golden State, they were the prohibited favorites. Early on, it seemed like Golden State had everything in control. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, all of them were doing their part. But then Houston let it be known that they were going to be a force to be reckoned with. They're the reason why they won 65 games. With the efforts of Chris Paul and James Harden and those role players such as PJ Tucker, Luke Mbamute, for Ryan Anderson, he didn't play much, but he had a very key role in the whole season. And then Eric Gordon, potential sixth man of the year. He stepped up and he went at the whole Golden State defense in the paint. And then whenever it was like a clutch shot situation, he made the necessary shots to keep Houston in the game and to put them over. So for Golden State to lose 2 games in a row, which is something they ain't done in the playoffs
Ever.
since the 2016 finals against Cleveland. I mean, Golden State hadn't lost a home game until going up against Houston. And the last loss was in Game 7 of the finals against Kyrie and LeBron. So it looked bad for Golden State. But in Game 6, when they were down at halftime, that 64-25 second half was something to behold.
It's rough.
Klay Thompson going off for like, I think 5 or 6 threes in the whole second half. And then Steph Curry finally was able to reveal himself once again. And Kevin Durant, making an appearance. That whole team really mattered. And then Draymond doing all the little things, getting the hustle plays, the rebounds, the assists. They were able to catapult themselves from Game 6, and then with their defense, man, shut down Houston for 25 points for a whole half. Who would have thought that would ever happen at any time, considering how powerful of a high offense team with them shooting threes like crazy? In which Game 7, it bit them in the ass. Like, missing
sure.
27 straight threes. That is ridiculous. After missing like the 15 to 20 in a row, you should know you need to start getting into the paint and shooting some twos. But that's Houston's identity. Houston is all about scoring. So, I mean, they live by the 3 and they die by the 3. And then Klay Thompson and Durant and Curry and Draymond, without Iguodala with his bone bruise, they were able to, to get them over, win Game 7 in Houston, and now they're in the finals for the 4th time in a row.
I don't really have a whole lot to add to that, but I honestly thought after Game 1 the series was over. I really did. Deep down, I said, Golden State stole home court. That's it. Done. And Houston won Game 2, and I went, okay, yeah, they're going to win Game 2, but they're about to go down 3-1, and, Warriors, it might go 6.
Yeah, right.
Houston won that road game, and I went, okay. I said, okay. They still have to win Game 5 to really, make sure that they stay in this, and they did.
Then
Game 6 happened, and Chris Paul gets hurt.
Man, the hamstring at the end of Game 5.
I'm not convinced that they win if Chris Paul doesn't get hurt. They obviously have a better chance. They probably don't get wrecked in Game 6. Like, they were winning, and Klay went Game 6 elimination back against the wall. Klay Thompson is probably one of the best players I've ever seen.
Yeah, we all saw that against OKC a few years ago.
Exactly. He had, 41 in that one and then 35 in this one?
And he made 11 threes in that game. He made 9 in this one.
Yeah. So after I saw that, I was like, man, without Chris Paul, I just don't think Houston's going to have what it takes. And they came close, missing 27 threes in a row, and they still only lost by 9 points without Chris Paul.
And they had the lead at halftime.
That's hopeful for the future, but at the end of the day, we really knew. We pretty much knew when the season started that this was the most likely scenario, and we got our hopes up that it wouldn't be, but here we are. Golden State, Cleveland, episode 4.
Right.
So,
and we honestly thought that it was, my picks, prior to the playoffs was going to be Toronto and Golden State. I was halfway right.
I picked Cleveland and Golden State. Should have picked Boston, and it would have came true, I guess. But
it's close.
Oh well. But speaking of the finals, we've got a bunch of talk about the finals coming up in these next few segments. So stick around. If you're on YouTube, just click the next video since this isn't live, so I don't know why you'd stick around. But
keep on watching.
We'll be right back with NBA Finals talk, so you don't want to miss it.